welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com.
What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbein, I'm joined every Friday by my main man, Derek Bell. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk or anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 2 days away from facing the New England Patriots at home in their season home opener at Acrisure Stadium. That still doesn't feel right. Taking on an 0-1 New England Patriots team, the return of an AFC rivalry that kind of faded into the dust has a whole new meaning behind it. I went through the locker room. There's like 9 guys that are still on this roster that were on the roster the last time the Steelers and the Patriots played in 2019. But anyways, we're going to dive into everything. First, it's a beautiful day here in the Burgh. It's freezing cold in the morning. I love it so much. How you feeling, my friend?
Feeling good, man. Home opener. Appreciate a nice cut. Appreciate you, boy. Appreciate you. I'm hyped, man. Home opener. I'm kind of bummed that I'm not gonna be in Pittsburgh for that one, but It's definitely gonna be a good time. Acrisure Stadium, man. It still doesn't like roll off the tongue when we say it, does it?
No, it's weird. Like Acrisure Stadium. It just I feel like it takes too long to say. Heinz Field, short and sweet to the point. Gotta love it. What were those ticket prices for the home opener? I saw you were looking a while ago.
Yeah, I was looking a while back. They were pretty steep, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's a no-go for me, unfortunately.
I don't know anybody who's I got 2 buddies who just dropped, I don't know how much, but decent cash on the Browns Steelers Thursday night game next week. They just bought them today. I was like, y'all are nuts. Not a chance. Not a chance when I buy tickets a week out and expect to have money to pay rent at the end of the month. Not a chance. All right. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, Mike Tomlin versus Bill Belichick. That seems to be the only constant left on either team right now. But first, I got to bring something up to you because it's your boy, and I'm waiting 2 days now to ask you about this. On Wednesday, there was a list that was released by betonline.ag, who, they send a million lists out a day, but this one caught my eye. It caught my eye because the Dallas Cowboys are looking for a quarterback, and 2 Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks were named as possible landings in Dallas. One of them, Mason Rudolph. The other one is Ben Roethlisberger. 50-1 odds to end up as a Cowboys QB. Obviously will never happen in a billion years, but did you laugh? How hard did you laugh? And did you have any other thoughts when you saw Ben Roethlisberger being named a possible signing to the Dallas Cowboys 6 months after retirement?
Man, I guess my first thought was, oh no, just because nobody wants to see that, man. If you're a Steelers fan or I'm just thinking a football fan in general, I think it always hurts seeing legends go play for another team for a year. You think about Emmitt Smith playing for the Cardinals for that year or whatever.
Yeah.
All these different guys that just bounce around team to team towards the end of their careers. I know Franco Harris, that was a big topic brought up when they had his number retired, how he played that last year in Seattle. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense for Dallas. Dallas, for one, their offensive line isn't nearly as good as it has been in years past. With Tyron Smith out, they're starting a rookie. Even though I like Tyler Smith a lot, but starting a rookie, they didn't look that great. There's no weapons over there because Gallup's still kind of recovering from injury. It doesn't make sense on any level. So yeah, don't let Vegas steal your money on that.
No. If you looked at the whole list, and what surprised me the most is that Ben is not last. Brett Favre is not on there. Drew Brees is on there. Phillip Rivers is on there. Ryan Fitzpatrick's on there. I don't know, ridiculous names. And then to top it off was I wish I remembered who topped it off. I have to look, but it was just it was a name. It was all these guys, and then your first go-to is Garrett Gilbert. That's who was on the top of that list, above Ben DiNucci. So three Pittsburgh guys in one list. It seems like Tennessee signing a linebacker. That's what it feels like. Feels like Tennessee signed a linebacker. Right. I would love to see how many people actually did bet. I would hope 0. I would really hope the number is 0. I really hope that. All right. let's talk about the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Start on the Steelers offensive side of the ball. Full bill of health. Mason Cole is good to go with an ankle injury. Najee Harris is good to go with a foot injury. Exactly what the Steelers want. You were saying before the show that it's been very lucky for Pittsburgh. They have not dealt with major injuries on the offensive side of the ball outside of Calvin Austin. But I think that if anybody's going to get hurt, it's going to be a rookie. And you're going to make it work. It's going to be a rookie. When you look at New England's defense, what stands out about them? What worries you about them when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers? What'd you see when you did your scouting?
Yeah. New England's interesting. Their defense is definitely a lot better than their offense. Their offense is kind of going through like a transformation period under Mac Jones, new offensive coordinator situation. I think the defense is pretty solid. I'm not really sure what their ceiling is, but I do like their pieces. I don't know if they're going to necessarily be elite because they don't have like a superstar probably over there anymore. But they play a lot of 3 safety looks. That was something that really jumped out. Like they'll play McCourty, Phillips, and Duggar together a lot. They're comfortable playing Duggar and Phillips in the box, basically as like quasi linebackers, regardless of personnel. When Miami went to like 11 and 21 personnel, 12 personnel, 21 personnel. They were cool sticking with those 3 safeties. And they did a really good job, I thought, against the run. Duggar's fantastic, man. He's somebody that I'm going to highlight in an article tomorrow morning. He's really fun to watch. D2 kid coming out of college.
Classic.
Freak athlete. 6'1", 220. This kid, I think if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he returned 6 punts for touchdowns in college. Again, it's D2, but still, 6'1", 220, returned 6 punts for touchdowns. They're going to play a lot of man-to-man too. Like that's what, Hoodie's always been comfortable letting his guys play on the boundary.
Did you just call Bill Belichick Hoodie?
That's why I call him Hoodie.
Gone.
But yeah, even without J.C. Jackson, man, even like last week, they played Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, 2 of the fastest guys in the league, and they were cool playing man. They were really comfortable with that. It burned them a couple times, but I thought overall, they did a decent job holding those guys in check.
So the Steelers' offense obviously struggled against Cincinnati. Man-to-man does not make that any easier on them. Is it Mitch? Do you trust Mitch against man-to-man? Is it the fact that you can't run the football that you need to get better in to open up man-to-man? Or is it just, Deontay is going to be the go-to in this game because he's the only one that could beat it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I see happening. New England's going to stay in these like 3 safety looks, and they're going to probably let the Steelers pound their head against sand and say, all right, run the ball, see if you can get us out of this. Yeah. I'm guessing that they won't be able to because I think New England's pretty solid up front. Their edge rushers do a good job of setting the edge. They got some quality defensive linemen that are good run stoppers. Bentley's a pretty good run stopper at middle linebacker. And like I said, their safeties are just really comfortable playing in the box. Outside, like I said, man-to-man, they're going to force Mitch to beat them. They're a real big, like, middle field close team, so they're going to see a lot of single high. McCourty's almost always the center fielder for them. So you're going to get, one-on-one matchups with, Pickens and Johnson on the outside against, like, Jalen Mills. One interesting thing is I think Jonathan Jones is a good player on the boundary. Jack Jones, the rookie from Arizona State, played a lot last week. He had a really tough game. In my opinion. So that could be something. I think if he's out on the boundary, say maybe if they try to match him with Pickens, I would try to take a deep shot to him like early in the game and just test him a little bit.
You have to test the rookie, but you need Pickens to get involved either way. I think that's huge to this game. Deontay's the go-to when you need somebody to get open, but we all saw what Pickens could do in the preseason. We definitely saw what he could do in training camp. Like, this guy could beat pretty much anybody on the field. He can match up with anybody easy. It's just a matter of getting them the ball. And you tweeted it out after the game or Monday morning, maybe, that, and you go back and watch. Pickens ran a deep ball or deep route like 40 times against Cincinnati. It seemed like he ran that and then one route that was an out route that Mitch threw 4 yards out of bounds that he had to dive for. And besides that, he did nothing. Like that's what Pickens, and that's not who he's here to be. Like, he's not here to be the next Chase Claypool. You have to narrow his route tree to more, or not narrow it, but you have to expand it to narrow his field. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to run shorter routes because he could get open. He could beat anybody, and he's just as fast as anybody on the football field. I think that's huge. Do you see a way that the Pittsburgh Steelers run game actually improves in this game?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know what percent Najee is going to be. That's really the big thing. I don't know if they're going to be able to run the football, man. I didn't think the offensive line played terrible last week, especially in pass protection. I just don't know if the run game is going to click, especially this early. We'll see. I mean, obviously it would benefit them a ton if they could at least be respectable, stay ahead of the chains, be efficient. They don't need to necessarily be explosive, but be efficient.
Yep.
But we're going to have to see. That's a big thing to me, because I think it would get New England a little more uncomfortable. But New England, in my opinion, is really comfortable playing their style of ball, and you're going to have to get them out of it. Like, one of the ways that I think that they could get them out of some of those man-to-man looks, and make them be a little more multiple than they want to be, is maybe using Mitch's legs. We talked about this before the show, but back in 2018, it's the only time Mitch has played the Patriots, but he ran the ball 6 times for 81 yards and a touchdown. And like, that was really what New England struggled with in terms of like defending him. It wasn't, him as a passer. It was more about him using his legs. And that's something that we really didn't see a lot of last week. So maybe they look to get him on the move, and get him, scrambling a little bit more.
So let me ask, how realistic are you when you say that? Because we both know that Matt Canada showed nothing positive in the season opener. This was supposed to be the week of Matt Canada right from the jump says, hey, this is my offense. I have a mobile quarterback. I have all these ridiculous weapons. And yeah, Mitch Trubisky did not have a good game, but I don't expect Mitch to have great games. What I expect is the offense to be able to work around Mitch winning football games. That's all they're asking him to do, is win. Don't lose a game. The rest of us will take care of winning it. You can't do that if you can't run the football. You can't do that if you can't pass the football at all. And if you're in the red zone and you're playing goal line with a mobile quarterback who you're not looking for to make huge plays, why not run the football? Why not use your mobile quarterback's legs to score a touchdown? So how realistic is it that Mitch actually adds that to his repertoire this week against New England? Or are you just already somewhat given up on Matt Canada's ability to use him?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to put him in better situations to succeed. I mean, there's no doubt that Mitch struggled last week overall, but they've got to do a better job putting him in position to succeed, man. They've got to get him on the move more. They've got to utilize his legs more, because that's really like his redeeming quality, honestly, is his mobility. So getting him out on the edge, letting him scramble a little bit more, even design some zone reads with him, like have him and Najee do some zone reads and let him take one. Just at least if you want to do it near the red zone, just for something else for teams to prepare for. And then they need to move away from as much like shotgun passing. That's never been Mitch's strength. And, 36 of his 41 dropbacks last week were out of shotgun. Like, that's absurd. I mean, utilize play action, let Freiermuth run over the middle of the field. That's really where they need to kind of start transitioning to, in my opinion, on offense.
Yeah, you have to play. You played under center, and I said this before the show. You played under center all offseason. Training camp, we saw so much in training camp, so much play action, so much Mitch on the move, and I think that they did a great job of moving the pocket. I think that was something that definitely showed, and I helped the offensive line, obviously. I mean, you have to be able to open up this passing game. You can't run the football. Play action's got to be the move. I don't care if you can't run the football and you're still using play action. You have Najee Harris in the backfield. Teams are going to believe that you're going to give him the ball. You can't just run shotgun every single time. Do you expect a full Najee workload this week? If he's, I would say at best bet 60, 70%. Najee's 60, 70%. Do you expect a full workload for him, or do you see a lot of Jalen Warren in this? It's like the fourth time I've called him Jalen Samuels.
It's going to be interesting to see because Warren, he played a little bit more early on last week than I would have imagined. I mean, at least from what we're accustomed to. So potentially, like I said, I don't really know how healthy Najee is. I don't think that last week he looked particularly explosive.
No.
So that's a big question to me. Only him and the team's going to know that. So it will be definitely something to watch for, like you said, kind of that split. I did think Warren showed himself well in pass pro, and that's a big part of getting on the field, especially when you're a rookie. You can't look overwhelmed in pass pro, or defensive coordinators are just going to scheme up blitzes to target you. So I thought him showing well
down your leg.
Yeah, I thought him showing well in that focus of the game bodes well for him potentially get more playing time. But they've got to definitely start running the ball like more efficiently for sure.
Yes, 100%. How do you do that? Is that just straight offensive line? Is it the fact that Najee's not 100%? Is it the fact that your passing game isn't really working? What goes into this?
It's more about the offensive line, in my opinion, just like creating a little bit more push up front. There were a couple times I thought maybe they missed a gap or two. I thought Naj had one specific play that I think I highlighted on Twitter that I think he picked the wrong gap. But I would like to see them be like a little bit more like versatile too in the run game. If they're trying to run outside, they keep trying to run that like toss crack play. It has not worked. They ran it 3 times between that I know of between like last week and the preseason. It has not worked. I don't know why I would like to see them try like a little bit more outside zone and just mix that in because it's something else that, teams will have the game plan for.
So we're going to get into buy and sell at the end of this, but I asked this to Steven on Wednesday. Do you think that Chase Claypool leads the team in rushing again in week 2, back-to-back weeks?
He really might, to be honest. He really might. I'm going to say I think New England does a little bit better job setting the edge. And obviously because of how much the Steelers showed it last week, I mean, Chase carried the ball 6 times. And obviously, they did this same like jet sweep stuff last year too. So New England's going to be ready for it. But I don't know if he necessarily like leads them in yards or carries this week. But I do think that this thing with Chase is here to stay. Like, I think like he played like 90% of his snaps last week in the slot. They are going to utilize him as a runner, like either getting the ball to him in the short passing game or, utilizing him on jet sweeps. They're going to try to get him the football because that's like something he does really well, especially because, of his athleticism. So that's going to be a thing. I'm just not sure. I mean, hopefully he doesn't outgain Najee again, but
I'm going to buy that and say that I do believe Chase leads this team in rushing 2 weeks in a row. It's not a Najee. It's just all the factors.
Can you win this week like that though? Like, can you win this week with Claypool as your lead number 1 rusher?
I don't know. I think that's a perfect transition to the defense. How good's the defense going to be? Because if the defense, if you could somehow score pretty much 21 points from the defense, I fully expect them to win to win the ball game. But I think it all like defense is going to win this. So let's talk about the defense. Can the defense win a game round 2 against the Patriots? Patriots team that looked terrible in week 1, and a quarterback who has back spasms.
I absolutely think they can. I mean, you look at the performance that they put on last week, man, it was one of the best in several years, I thought. I mean, even without TJ, I still think that they can be like extremely disruptive on defense. And just like watching the Patriots offense from last week, I don't think that they have enough weapons to really beat them. They don't have any like superstars on the outside. I like Jacoby Myers as a complementary piece. They got 2 quality tight ends. If you stop the ground game, though, I think that they're like really pedestrian. And I just don't. I think the Steelers at home playing in front of the fans, like I see the defense having another really, really good showing.
I agree. I think I don't have any low expectations for. I have such high expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense that I dropped all of my fantasy football defenses, which were the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills, just so everybody's aware, and picked up Pittsburgh in both leagues because I'm just fully confident that this defense is. We talked about it. We talked about this all offseason, that if the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was good, this team's expectations would be through the roof because of how much better the defense got. So you look at, not even looking at New England, but you look at what they did against Cincinnati. There's a lot that stood out. What were some positives that you looked at that you said, okay, wow, this is actually real. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense could actually be this serious this season?
The big thing was stopping the run without having to bring a safety down. They were able to play a lot of too high last week, which, helped minimize some of the big plays that killed them against the Bengals last year. And being able to stop the run with, 6, 7 guys was notable. I thought the defensive line played extremely well. I thought Wormley in particular had one of his best games against the run since he's been a Steeler. I thought Ogunjobi was a monster. I mean, what you're going to get from Hayward up front, but Ogunjobi was so disruptive last week, man. And he was an absolute force. That's definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing moving forward. So I think it really starts like if they stop the run, man, and especially if they can do it without having to bring Edmonds in the box, the majority of the time, this defense is going to be perfectly fine, man.
Were you surprised that Isaiah Loudermilk didn't get a helmet over DeMarvin Leal? And do you expect that to continue?
I was a little bit. I think it might be a little more matchup dependent. If it's a team where they're more
running team.
Yeah, if it's a team that they're maybe focusing on slowing down the pass, I think Leal probably gets the helmet. If if it's a team that they're really trying to stop the run, I think that Loudermilk could get a helmet. Leal played like 13 snaps last week, really didn't do a ton, no pressures, anything like that. Nothing notable in terms of like good or bad, in my opinion. So it could just be one of those like rotating door situations that's very like matchup dependent.
So like I just said, the Patriots are as run heavy as they get in the NFL. Do you expect Loudermilk to get a helmet this week then?
He could.
Not expect. I know that you don't have that insight, but like, would you anticipate this being a matchup where you see Loudermilk get it over Leal?
It could definitely help. It could definitely help for sure. I think I would probably lean towards like giving Leal more run though, just because I don't know if they're going to be able to get. He needs reps, and I think that this is a good way to get them. They have enough quality guys with everyone healthy in front of him to where I think that they can stop this Patriots offense. The Pats did run a little bit more zone, which was kind of interesting. I think they're normally like a gap or power team, but they ran a little more zone last week, which is kind of interesting. But the Steelers did excellent last week against Cincy runs all wide zone. That's the only thing really they run. And the Steelers did extremely well, man. Everybody was maintaining gap integrity, linebackers flowing to the ball. It was pretty to watch.
So where does this go? I know that this is, an off-topic Loudermilk conversation, but Loudermilk was supposed to take a jump this year. He didn't get a helmet. We don't anticipate he gets a helmet this week, possibly. I mean, what's the future of Isaiah Loudermilk? This dude was supposed to be possibly the replacement for Cam Hayward in a couple of years.
It's going to be that with how deep the defensive line is, it's going to be, in my opinion, just kind of a wait and see game. But you're going to have injuries. I mean, the Steelers outside of Watt have been pretty fortunate with injuries to date, but that's not going to stay the case. Whenever somebody gets hurt, he'll have an opportunity, or if other guys in front of him start struggling, and it's nice to have a backup like that you're comfortable with on the field.
Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely a luxury for the Steelers for sure.
Oh, luxury, bad spot for Isaiah Loudermilk, who I think is a good guy and a good player, but. I agree. I thought that if Wormley didn't play well, he would have been the guy that kind of got pushed down, but I think he showed, he's a veteran. And you talked about it a lot last year, is he shouldn't be a starter, but he's about as good of a backup as it comes. I think you saw that this week. All right, we got to get into buy or sell questions and obviously the Steelers picks. But first, we got a word from some new boys over at Vincero. Support for today's episode comes from Vincero Collective. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they make exceptionally crafted and stylish watches at affordable prices. Other premium handcrafted watches have insane markups. You can finally own a high quality and lasting timepiece without going broke. And the best part is, listeners of this podcast are getting hooked up to save even more with the biggest discount they offer. So if you're looking for the perfect accessory to help elevate your style for a limited time only, get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with our exclusive code STEELERS at www.vincerocollective.com. Let me show you this. Let me show you real quick what we're working with. This is what they just sent me. And let me tell you, not only do I wear the gold chain every single day, so you have to have, let me take it off. I'll show you. You have to have a watch that's beautiful, that stands out, that's as sharp as can be. That's what you're getting with the Vincero Collective. Let me tell you a little bit more about this. Vincero Collective is a premium lifestyle brand out of San Diego that also makes high quality and affordable sunglasses, jewelry, and more. They're known for their exceptionally crafted, ethically made products for today's most ambitious people, modern pieces that upgrade your look and stand the test of time. There's three words. There's three words that come to mind when I think of these products: stylish, quality, and versatility. Vincero designs everything in-house, sources their own materials, and produces in small batches. They are committed to doing things well or not at all. From the boss men and women out there, their watches are a must. They can elevate your look with a twist of the wrist. And if I had mine back on, I'd show you. Made with surgically grade stainless steel, durable silicone, and genuine Italian marble straps, these sleek modern watches come from traditionally automatic and Japanese quartz movements. All of their sunglasses come polarized with 100% UV protection and so many styles to choose from. The eye-catching and modern designs can also go with any outfit or trend. Perfect for a day in the park or on a date night. This is the perfect gift for yourself or someone you love. I just wore this thing to a wedding a couple of days ago, and everybody, I get it, I was in Ohio, but everybody there was like, wow, that's the nicest watch I've seen in a long time. And let me tell you, they are not lying. You can finally look like the baller without having to spend like one, but you don't need to take my word for it. With over 30,000 five-star reviews, they have been named GQ's got-to brand for premium lifestyle accessories. Vincero offers you a shopping experience you can trust. And if you need to return or swap, no problem. Vincero's 5-year guarantee and 365-day return policy has you covered. From quality you can feel to style you can't deny, Vincero Collective guarantees to up your game. They can only offer this big of a discount for a limited time. So don't wait or it'll be too late. Get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with the code STEELERS at www.vincerocollective.com. Support our show and use our code STEELERS at VINCERO collective.com. I guarantee that you will find something that fits your style. Shop Vincero today. I appreciate everybody hanging that one out. That was a long one. These get longer by the day. Yeah. Ridiculously long. I got a word with everybody. You know, we started off with Manscaped, and I was out of breath by the time we were reading them. And at this point, I'm like, yo, guys, I need a 30-second ad read and we're nothing more. We're trying to talk some Pittsburgh Steelers football. This one was like 12 and a half minutes. So they're not paying us anything either, which kind of sucks, but we'll get there. Go use our promo code at Vincero.com. Their stuff is pretty sick. They sent me this watch. It's pretty dope. Their stuff's like cheap too. Like I think this watch was like $200, which like is expensive, but not expensive for a watch. All right, let's jump into some buy or sells here. You still awake over there after that one?
Yeah, so I'm just reading some of these buys in the chat.
I like
Kenny Chance as the Steelers run out the tunnel.
All right, let's start there. Let's start with that one.
Buy Mitch. 3
Kenny
total
Chance as the
touchdowns
Steelers
versus
run
the
out the tunnel. All right, buy or sell. Not even Kenny Chance as the Steelers run out the tunnel. Buy or sell. Mitch throws an interception, and there's immediately Kenny Chance. No, actually, no. Remove the interception. Buy or sell. At some point during this game, there are Kenny Chance.
I'm buying that. At some point, maybe okay. Maybe not, but maybe not during the game, but definitely during warm-ups. Warm-ups or sometime during the game, you'll hear Kenny Chance at Acrisure for sure.
I'm going to also buy that. I think at some point you're definitely going to hear a Kenny chant. I think if there is an interception thrown, Acrisure Stadium is going to be loud. Week 2, first home game, Mitch Trubisky's already told, get out of my stadium right now. This is over. That sucks. I got to feel bad for him. I got to. All right. Lots of buys on that one.
Easy buy.
There was a Mitch one. I gotta find the Mitch one. By Mitch, 3 total touchdowns versus the Patriots. I would say that total means rushing and passing. How you feeling about those? 3 total touchdowns. He's got 1 so far.
He did go for 3 the last time he played the pass in 2018, but I'm selling that. I don't know that there's going to be 3 touchdowns period scored on Sunday. I mean, I think
very true.
This could be like a really ugly, like 14-13, 14-10 type of game. I mean, I hope everybody's prepared for that. But, I mean, you never know. It's kind of interesting because everybody thought last night's game was going to be a shootout. It only ended up like, what, 24-21?
24-21.
Like yeah. So, you never know. NFL surprise you sometimes. But this has the makings of like a really ugly, like 14-10, 14-13 type of game, in my opinion.
It was actually 27-24 because I took the over. So,
nice.
Yeah, which
what
was
the
over? The over was 52.5. And it's 52. Yeah, gotta love life. I'm having a great time this season betting. Let me tell you, it's a fantastic year for me. All right, Pat Freiermuth leads the team in catches, yards, and touchdowns.
Eddie, is that this week or?
Let's go this week. Let's go this week and the season. Let's go season.
I'm saying neither. I'm selling that, even though Freiermuth was my breakout player for the Steelers this year. So I think we're on the same page with the love on Pat. I just don't see him out targeting or outscoring Deontay, especially this week. Like I said, the Patriots are really man heavy, and I think that plays into more of like a Deontay Johnson game plan. So, in my opinion, Deontay probably should and might have like 12 to 15 targets this week, to be honest.
So, 12 to 15 targets.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah. It should. Right. I mean, realistically, if they're going to play that much man-to-man, Deontay should eat. So
he should definitely.
I'd go Deontay. He should be the focal point of the offense, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm going to go Deontay as well. I think Deontay will lead the team. I feel good about that. At some point, I mean, dude, that was the craziest catch I've seen in a long time. That was just like overlooked because that's just what he does. Like Deontay, if Mitch could get his stuff together and like the offense could get this stuff together, which I know work hand in hand, Deontay should eat. Buy or sell, George Pickens gets 1+ touchdowns this week. Oh, does George Pickens get on the board? Well, it was Chase Claypool. What was Chase Claypool? Week 3, week 4 in his rookie season when he went for 4 touchdowns?
Yeah. I don't know that I'm buying a touchdown, but I am buying a big play. So either a touchdown or a deep ball, just because I think that they're going to have some advantageous looks on the outside. It's really just about Mitch being accurate enough to hit him. You know, he was only, I think, 3 for 12 last week on throws over 10 yards. So they pushed the ball down the field enough, in my opinion. He got to hit some of these.
I agree. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna say Pickens gets in the end zone. I'm gonna give you another name. Buy or sell, Gunnar Olszewski gets in the end zone this week. In one way or another. I'm
gonna sell that, even though it would be a cool, I guess, kind of point for him.
Yeah.
But can we please stop having Gunner as the point man on these toss cracks? They're asking that man to block Sam Hubbard last week, and I felt like legitimately sorry for him.
I saw that and I felt terrible. Terrible. I was like, this guy can't.
Bro.
What do you do? You've Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool's as big as Sam Hubbard, and you're asking 5'7" Gunnar Olszewski.
They have all these big receivers now. I feel like this is the biggest. Like I don't know the last time that the Steelers have had this many like 6'2", 6'3", and above receivers with Claypool, with Pickens, with Boykin, and they had Gunner out there.
Gunner. They didn't know how to. They didn't realize that they were just like, oh well, the short guy always runs the crack block, right? That's how that works. This week it'll be Steven Sims running in there trying to hit somebody. Feel good about that. All right, couple more buy or sell questions here. Buy or sell, the Steelers defense finds the end zone again, back-to-back weeks.
Screw it, I'll buy it.
Oh,
I'll buy it.
You got a prediction on who it would be? Bold prediction here.
Give me a Kello.
Oh, your boy Kello. I knew that was going to come out of your mouth. I knew that was good. How'd you feel about Kello's game on Sunday?
It was a little uneven, but I obviously you like to see the interception. Kello's got 4 picks in his last, I think, 7 or 8 games for the Steelers. So it's been a long time, I think, since a Steelers corner's done that. I don't even know who the last one would be. I'll have to look that up for you guys. But I really thought that he played decent. The touchdown is the one that's everyone's going to harp on, man, but that's just an alignment thing. If you're playing man-to-man and you're single coverage, which I'm not really sure why they single coverage Jamar Chase on the last play of regulation, but if you're going to play man-to-man there, he's got to be up at the line of scrimmage to at least like try to get some contact and disrupt the timing. That was just too easy.
All right, I agree. I'm going to buy the defensive touchdown. I'm going to go Devin Bush. With a fumble recovery.
God. That would be cool.
In the end zone.
That would be cool.
Says, "What's up, Steelers Nation? Can we please shut the hell up now?" That's what he says to the camera as he runs to the sideline. All right, we got buy or sell. Connor Hayward catches a pass.
With as many like shuffle passes and stuff that they've done, I think that's a good buy.
I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it.
it.
I don't even think he gets on the field on offense.
He only played 1 snap last week. It just seems like a gimmicky thing for them to kind of roll out and try to get him a touch or something like that early. I could see Canada rolling with that.
Maybe. I'm gonna sell it. All right, buy or sell. Malik Reed gets a sack.
I'll say sell. I thought Isaiah Wynn played pretty well last week. I'm assuming Reed's going to play the majority of the time on the left side since TJ's out. Really pretty quiet debut for him. He rushed the passer 20 times, I think. Didn't register a pressure. So New England's pass protection overall last week I thought was pretty good. They did struggle with some like creeper looks where there was just miscommunication up front. But I thought overall they did a good job protecting Mac. So we'll see. We'll see on that. I don't like that bet though. I don't think.
I agree. So we got one more from Eddie, and then I got one more for you. Buy or sell. Defense 4 sacks
or less. 4 or less. I'll say 4 or less. Yeah, but I'm buying that. That I don't think this offensive line is not bad enough. I don't think to give up like 5+ sacks, especially because Mac's not like Burrow. He's not going to Burrow just hangs on to the ball and he refuses to let plays die. He gets real impatient if you start making him check it down. So Mac's not like that. I think under 4 sacks would be a good bet. I still think that they'll get a good amount of pressure though. Maybe more blitzes though. Without TJ Watt last year in the 2 games, they blitzed a little bit more. Steelers aren't very blitz heavy anymore, but I think that we could see some looks this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go under as well. And then last one I got for you, buy or sell. Mitch Trubisky throws for more than 205 yards. I'm not going to say 200. You got to throw more than 205 yards.
I'll say buy only because I think that I think that's going to be necessary. The only way it's not going to be in my opinion is if, the defense forces, 3-4 turnovers again. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I think they could get a couple off Mac and company, but I'm not sure that I see that. I mean, like I said earlier in my prediction, like I don't know that the Steelers are going to be able to run the ball and get New England out of their, 3 safety, kind of base look. So until that happens, I think Mitch is going to have to make some plays on the outside with those receivers. But I mean, this is a matchup that I think you kind of look for. I mean, we talked about all offseason that the Steelers' kind of strength of their offense is their playmakers. So you look at their playmakers, a lot of man-to-man coverage, probably from New England. I think you got to like that matchup.
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to go just under 205 yards. Maybe 198
that's an ugly
again.
couple. That's an ugly couple.
It's going to be
starts,
rough. I'm going to look at. We're going to get into the predictions here, and I'm going to pick the Steelers to win. But I'm not going to say Mitch Trubisky wins the game for him. I just can't. Like I can't. My approach this season, because my bets have been so awful, is I have to be more realistic. And on top of that, I'm trying to beat you and Steven all season long on these predictions. I'm done losing. So I'm gonna sell it. All right, let's get into week 2 predictions. Pittsburgh Steelers host the New England Patriots. 1:00 kickoff at Acrisure Stadium. Still hate saying those words. The spread: the Steelers are home opener dogs against a team that just scored 7 points in week 1. 2.5-point underdogs. A 40.5-point over under. What do you got?
I don't know, man. Obviously I don't gamble outside of this show. So I don't gamble in real life, and I would never bet on the Steelers. But I, for the life of me, cannot understand why the Steelers are home underdogs this week. I've watched the Steelers game a couple of times through from last week. I watched the Pats game. I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, I think it's going to be low scoring, so I'm definitely taking the under. But I would have bet the Steelers if they were favored by 2.5 points. Yeah. Much less underdogs by 2.5 points. I think that's absolutely outrageous in my opinion.
Yeah, there's zero questions asked. I've already put the second that I saw that money line, or that I saw that point spread, I already put money on it. So they've lost. I'm going to take the blame on that one. That's on me. But I'm easily the Steelers plus 2.5. You should hammer that all day long, all day long. The Steelers, they just beat the defending AFC champs, and you could say whatever you want to say. New England's looked terrible all preseason, all through week 1. There's no reason for that. And then the 40.5 over under, I'm going to go under. The over's just not hitting this week. They're not hitting ever anymore. So, and it's no fun to bet the under. I know that, but we're going to go under. Let me get a score prediction from you.
I'm going to say 2017. And that's really about as conservative as I can possibly get. I think the Steelers win this one. I really do. I thought the Steelers would win this game when the schedule came out. I feel way better about it now than I did back in, May. So I like the Steelers for sure this week. I definitely like the under as well.
Yeah.
Unless there's just the only way that I see that I see this will be in high scoring is if it's just a turnover palooza from both offenses.
Which it could be. No, I don't think Mitch is going to turn the ball over. But especially knowing that he's going to get booed out of the city of Pittsburgh. His wife would have to have the bags packed before the game would be over. All right. So I went under. Steelers plus 2.5. I'm gonna go 17-10 Pittsburgh. 7-point spread there. They just put up 7. I don't think that they put up more than 10. There's no way that New England's offense is just suddenly going to be great. Mac Jones is dealing with some injury issues. Could see that fighting them in the butt. The Steelers aren't going to be able to do anything. And, I'm going to buy the Devin Bush finds the end zone. So there's your second touchdown. And we'll go Pickens with the touchdown as well. So there you go. There's your 2 touchdowns. Boz gets a field goal, gives me some fantasy points, and I feel real good about the day. Feel real good about the day. 23-14, loving these. I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, Sunday. You got a bold prediction? I feel like we should head out with a bang here. You got a bold prediction?
Oh man,
Top of your head. I just threw that right. I just feel like we ended on a low note. You got to end on a high note.
I don't know if I have one.
Boring. You're expecting a boring game.
It is. I think this is going to be a dreadful game to watch. Like I don't even think most Steelers fans are going to like watching this game. I'll say Minka gets another pick.
That's a terribly boring bold prediction. That is a terribly boring bold prediction. I like the Devin Bush one. I'm going to stick with my Devin Bush one, but I'm also going to give you, I think Jaylen Warren has a 35 plus yard run at some point in this game and possibly out rushes Najee in terms of yards. No nag on Najee. He's just dealing with a lot of injuries right now. And I think Warren's plows over somebody and finds a hole and then, finishes with 60 yards, but 35 of those came on a nice run. So I feel good about it.
Todd said it's going to be like watching ice melt. It's funny.
It is. It's going to be, good luck. Everybody, good luck. All right. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Go check us out anywhere you get your podcasts and go check out VinceroCollective.com and use our promo code Steelers for 20% off and free shipping. Get your cool stuff like this watch. We'll be back on Monday with Steven. Enjoy watching paint dry on Sunday. I apologize if my bets ruin everybody, but we're going to be fine. I'm feeling good. This is the turnaround, baby. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.